Hi everybody, Mike Reese here for Martial Arts Chat. Today's topic, I was kind of wondering what kind of topics I was going to go over today and what I was going to kind of talk about a little bit. And I decided that I was going to talk a little bit about this misconception, mainly because a friend of mine, Simon McKay, shared a video with me, and then I went and checked out more videos from this individual. And I have to admit, there was so much I wanted to say about this. I mean, I wanted to go on and I just kind of wanted to go on to the person's site and kind of just tell them, you need to take this stuff down. It shows me to no end because the fact that this guy he has footage of him showing classes, footage and all this stuff, it goes to show me that everything that we've been talking about martial arts, and about how people are, just really pretty much wrong in their thinking and how self-defense actually works. You can't just throw some fluff, crap stuff together and say it's self-defense because it's something you've seen, or it's something that you think works, or for some reason that's how you have analyzed things to working correctly, when it's basically just garbage. You can't just throw it. Oh my goodness, you guys have no idea how frustrated I became and am at this video. The fact that there's many of these videos out there, the fact that they have a school that's open, it's unnerving. It is an insult. It's an insult to anyone who's ever studied martial arts ever in the way that it was supposedly supposed to be taught. I was hoping that it was just a joke, that this guy was just kidding, that they were just it was just a joke. And the only joke is the stuff. The material is a joke. And I was trying to look up more about the person. I was trying to find more, like maybe it was just bad information the person was given. I don't know. And to find out that they really have, they don't have very many credentials out there. They really have no proof of really training with many people at all, except for they have their own organization that accepts his credentials. His own organization legitimizes himself. Okay, guys, you guys know that I consider myself a self-taught martial artist. But I've put myself out there, and I put myself out there for others to analyze, and I've trained with others. I've actually trained with some people who've actually given me certificates, and I've actually trained with people who actually have looked at it and said, yeah, this is what we want to do. And I actually, went out there and people saw my stuff, and I actually am part of an organization that recognizes it, but it recognizes it worldwide, which means all these, other people recognize it. But other people recognize me as a legitimate individual because I've shown it, proved it, and put myself out there. And I didn't make my own organization up to legitimize my crappy, maybe my very least thing. As far as that's concerned, that would have never even bothered me had this person shown promise. But they don't show promise. They don't show anything that's worth anything. They really, honestly, are ridiculous. They show that they've never been in a fight. They don't know what it's like to be attacked. They don't know they have no research or whatsoever what a good technique is. They have no idea actually how to throw a proper strike. They don't know anything about body mechanics. They have no idea about leverages. They really, honestly, have pieced together a bunch of BS and have marketed it and are teaching this openly to people because people are so freaking ignorant that they just fall in to people teaching this. It's frustrating But this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. And you know what he puts his on there? This is what he labels his stuff. He labels it a combative martial art. Okay, he labels it as a combative, a self-defense driven thing. It's not. It's a pile of crap sitting next to another pile of crap. That's all it is. It is neither a martial art, nor is it at any form of a combative. No way in the world. I am a big advocate of saying, yes, it's okay to like both martial arts and MMA. And it's okay to look at your stuff as a combative if you understand what that means. If you understand that competition ends here, but my self-defense continues on from that point. It doesn't mean that just what I do for competition is what I'm going to do every time and that's how it's going to win. MMA guy in a bar fight, you just go up with one guy and, faced off that guy. MMA fighter is going to destroy a bar fighter, I'm going to say 9 out of 10 times. Giving that 1 point of a guy that maybe not be such a great MMA fighter, and the other guy's a really successful street fighter. I'm only going to put that one out there. But a guy with a combative mindset, someone who took the traditional arts and actually made it to not what people see it as, which is the business side. The people, what they like to do is they like to say everything about the traditional arts, they like to dog it out because of the fact that they're going off of the business model schools. These business model schools are not necessarily your best thing, okay? Now, facts are what they are. There are a lot of watered down things out there. There's a lot of, watered down stuff out there, but still hold premise to be a decent martial art because they haven't lost the stuff that could make them a better system for self-defense and combative, and make it be a more combative style. They haven't lost it, they just don't know it. Or they haven't lost it, they just don't teach it. There's a difference. Not having any of that and trying to sell yourself as a martial art is bogus. Saying that you are a combative or a self-defense system so you do not have to have that stuff makes you bogus. Especially when all you're teaching is garbage. I broke down what I believe makes a good combative system. Okay, it's got to fit into a certain format because of the fact that if you're not thinking these ways, and I'm going to put, like I said, my whole statement about it is, you don't have to change your school to fit within that parameter. You could still study Shotokan, Kyokushin, American Kempo, Kaji Kempo. You could still understand Wushu, Bagua, Xingyi. You could do any of these arts. Tang Sudo, Taekwondo, anything that you put your mind to, any art you want. If you can do all that stuff, but as long as your self-defense portion puts together all those points that I put in there, all those points help it become combative. And normally they're in there in general, but people have pulled them away because they don't like them, they water them down, because it's not okay, or whatever there's whatever stupid reasoning there is. You put all the good combative reasonings in there, all the good stuff in there to make yourself a good combative system. You could still have your sporting aspect, but I can guarantee now you'll have an actual combative self-defense system, even if it's in Tang Sudo, even if it's in Taekwondo, that people would make fun of like crazy. Now it's become a punchline to jokes more than an actual art, which is ridiculous. It should have never been that way. It's just because everybody takes away those good components that makes something a good combative, that makes it a good self-defense art. They take it all out. So you put that stuff back in and you show it the way it should be done, and you get it to where now you start making it workable. Now you're still teaching your Tang Sudo or your Taekwondo, you're still teaching your American Kempo, you're still teaching your karate style, but now it has an effective thing. You don't throw labels on junk. Put combative, reality-based anything. Don't put labels on junk. Just because you don't want to teach a martial art, because you have no martial art background, because you have no teachings whatsoever, you have no understanding, you have no concepts, you have no principles, you have no technique, you have nothing. You know nothing, you do nothing right, and yet you're going to put a label on it and call it this type of system so you can sell it. You are a fraud. You are a complete charlatan, and you are going to get people killed. You are going to get killed if you ever try to apply that stuff. Like I said, I'm an advocate for people being self-taught, but show me, bar none, it has to be shown. You got to prove it to me before I ever sit there and say, yep, that guy is absolutely it. No, man, it is. The proof is where it is. If it is not show, if you cannot show me, if I can't stand in front of you and you do something that I would be completely oblivious to, or at the same time know that it's completely effective, don't say that you're this, that, and the other. I don't care if you are a really good martial artist and then maybe you want to train some stuff and say, whoa, oh hey, how come that didn't work for you? And I'll show you that. That's different. That's humility. That's being a martial artist. Don't be going around and putting and publicizing, hey man, this is a good thing. When you're showing people to throw your hand way back here, and this is where your palm strike comes from, and it goes like this, when really good combative guys, really good fighters are actually going, don't telegraph your punch, stay in this tight box, and throw it here. And throw it as fast and hard as you can, and then get your body to generate all this stuff. Why? Because they understand body mechanics. They know kinetic energy. They know the laws of motion. They know what's happening. You know why? Because they've been taught it, or they learned it, or they just understand it. They do these things because it's a proper technique. It's proper positioning. It's proper form. It's proper everything, not something bogus. So I am completely blown away. But it really shows now I understand why so many people go to an MMA gym rather than a traditional school. Why? Because clowns like that throw on freaking gis that they can buy online. They can throw that on, throw a belt around them, and you can buy a black belt, dude. It costs you $12. You can buy a black belt, throw that sucker on there, get some electrical tape, tape that bad boy, and you are now at like a 5th Dan, 100, whatever. And you are now this big shot showing off stuff that you have no idea what you're doing. None. And that unnerves me. That drives me crazy. I've stand in schools with people that are genuine martial artists. These guys have been in the arts for a long time. They've used it on the street. They've used it in combat. They've used it in competition. I've stood with these people. I've rolled with these people. I've won. I've rolled with them. I've lost. I've done these things. I've been beaten, but I've won. I've also won. So it's like, I know what I'm talking about when I deal with certain things. I've dealt with people in different fields, and they know that I know what I'm talking about. But people like that are out there throwing, oh my gosh, this stuff that honestly, it just gives me a migraine thinking about it. Oh my goodness. It's that moment in time that you wish you had all the stuff at your fingertips. You had money, you had everything at your fingertips, because man, that person is almost cause to have someone fly out to their school, fly up to that state, go to their school, and stand there and say, that works, huh? Come try it. Same thing. I was just watching the same thing that I watched with Boss Rutan and Joe Rogan before. I like Boss Rutan's. I love his commentary far more than Joe Rogan's. Not because I'm a big hater of Joe Rogan or nothing like that. No, I think he's an entertaining guy. And, he does have some things that are funny, but I really think he doesn't know as much as some people. And Boss doesn't really down a lot of people, but he has been around the block where some people have talked trash, said they could do this, do that, or whatever, and he's been doing seminars, and he was doing a rear naked choke where he's sitting there and he's got the rear naked choke on, and the guy said he could overhear someone say, "Well, I would just bite him, or I'd stick my finger in your eye, and I would bite I'd bite his calf." So when he was doing the rear naked choke, he said he overheard one of the people go, "Well, we just poke you in the eye." And he says, "Excuse me?" And then he invites her to do that. He invites them to come down and do this technique. He goes, "Okay, now," he goes, "I'm going to put this on you, and when I put this on you, when you put your finger in my eye, I'm going to break your neck. Go ahead. When you put your finger in my eye, I'm going to break your neck." She goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 what are we talking about?" He goes, "No, if you put your finger in my eye, I'm going to break your neck. Okay, you ready?" And he prepares himself and gets in set, and it's like, suddenly their mindset is shot. "What are you talking about? You'll break my neck. You're telling me that if I stick my fingers in your eyes, you're going to break my neck?" "Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do." He said, because he goes, "My first thing is you stick your finger in my eye. My first thing is, and then basically snapped your neck. And then I'm going to walk away and go, oh, man, that hurt." And I'm thinking to myself, why are they, if they're saying they're self-defense, they're so dangerous, why are they not thinking of that? Why are they not thinking that if I try to just stick my thumbs in his eyes right at this moment, that he could just kill me at this point? Why are they not thinking that way? Because they haven't been taught proper combatives. They haven't been taught proper self-defense. If someone's trying to throw this on, your first reaction should be this. And if it's here, it's going to be trapping up on the arms, making sure you can't get that whole choke either completely locked, or, man, I even saw someone just kind of go down. Now, dropping down to the ground, I do not advocate dropping down to the ground. The only reason why I would say even try that is, honestly, it would take this person, as soon as they try to latch, they're falling down. So now they're going to be bracing, psychologically bracing, or they're going to fall down and they're off kilter now. They got to reassert themselves in before you can hammer this in. But the first thing you need to be doing is learning how to defend yourself so you aren't getting caught in a choke. So that way it's easier to defend against. And the fact is, that's more natural anyway. Just putting your fingers in someone's eyes is not the case. It's not going to always work. Just kicking someone in the pillows all the time, that may not work. It will work a lot of the time, but it's not going to work every time. You know, just understanding that there are people out there that can handle pain. If they already have you in a compromised position, your first honest, smart thing to do is escape the danger. And that doesn't mean this. If my neck's already exposed, I'm not escaping the danger by trying to get this person, by now trying to go offensive here. As soon as I do this, as soon as I move my arms, he's already choked. And if you got a good rear naked on, even if it's not an actual air choke, but the blood choke, you're unconscious 5 seconds. 7 to 12 if you're really, but you're not really. More than likely it's going to be like 3 to 5. You're going to be unconscious. Or you're going to be feeling really woozy about that time. And especially if they're really crank that thing on. Now, that comes from people not understanding the material. They don't understand the move. They don't understand how people work. They don't understand that there's other people in play here. It's not just the psychology of the person that you're teaching. It's the psychology of the person that's attacking. You have to take in both parties. And then understand that there's not just two parties. There's not just one person and then one person. It's going to be one person, probably 1, 2, 3, 4 people. It could be any surmountable thing. And you've got to think differently in that circumstance. But again, it's because of the absolute lack of knowledge. Lack of understanding what to do, how to teach it, where to teach it. I mean, all that stuff. It's the lack. And that's what makes people in the self-defense field look stupid. Because a lot of people out there, they just don't want to learn the martial arts. They want the microwave martial arts kit, and they're dinging it in, and they're going, oop, 5 minutes, boop, boop, bing, and then they pull that out, and it's not food. It's just crap put in a little plastic container. It's just this high preserved thing that's just garbage. No new nutrients to it whatsoever. Nothing good about it. Just garbage. And you got that, and then instead of the fact that this guy has more meat of what he's learning or what he knows, okay? Now here's so that's why I know why people go to MMA gyms. Why? Because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, whatever you think of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, their actual curriculum shows a lot of Budo. And that is the essence, way of the warrior, is the essence of a martial art. So they show a lot of it. They express that through integrity, respect, discipline, honor. They put those in their curriculum. Yes, they have people who foul up, but when you're as big as they are and you have that many people following you, you are bound to have that problem. But I can see why people would go there rather than a regular school, because it's, to many people, far more effective than the garbage that they're learning. And in the retrospect of the video I've seen, and in the retrospect of people like taking away stuff and basically not knowing anything about it, I would totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Don't go to those schools. You know, so my problem is, so this whole video is just a rant about the integrity. Integrity of the martial arts is faltering like crazy, because there's so many people out there like that. They're out there selling garbage things. They're just out there with their stupid material, selling it to stupid people, and making a lot of people look just, I mean, give me a break. It's just garbage stuff. And I'm appalled that that's out there. And it's sad because, like I said, I can see why people go that way. I can see why people go the MMA route. You know? But anyways, that's all I'm going to do today. I'm just going to rant on that. And the fact is, guys, you could still have good stuff. There's still good stuff to learn from the martial arts. There's still good schools to learn from the martial arts. There's still plenty of knowledge there with good, solid teachers. But I can guarantee you're not going to get it from some sort of big franchise school, because they've watered it down so bad that all you're getting is water and you're not getting anything else out of it. There's no protein in it or nothing. You're going to get this, you know, little baby bottle full of stuff, and you're just going to get nothing out of it. So, in my opinion, take MMA classes. If these schools are going to continue to go downhill like this, go to an MMA gym. My biggest thing is, go to a proper martial arts school, which is something along the lines that you probably would not want, because the floors aren't matted, the areas are not the best as far as they have all the fun stuff. They don't have that. They're not kid friendly, and I can guarantee you're going to have blood on your uniform or coming off of you in some fashion if they're doing it right. You don't like that. Then you probably are just, you're either completely ready to just stay in that one little area and be completely okay with being ignorant and foolish about self-defense, or you're willing to go to the MMA route and at least have some sort of skill set, and that's about the best you can do. That, or find someone who's a private teacher who understands the essence of real Budo, and someone who actually does this. They may not do it for a living, they may not have a school, but I can guarantee that person probably has another better understanding of what it's about than most businesses do. So, hey, I'm just throwing it out there, guys. This is my honest opinion, and if you guys look harder and if you look at it, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. So, leave your comments below, guys. Let's keep talking about martial arts, but let's keep it true.